right, I'm just gonna do my quick intro and I will get it started. Okay. Um, what did I just do? Yeah, welcome, guys, to our GenAI in Fintech meetups. This is our first virtual event in 2025. For those of you guys been with us last year, so you know we run this fairly regularly, almost every fortnightly. But I did take or been taking a pause on it due to personal reasons this year. So this is actually our first one this year. But I do plan to run this, either every fortnightly or fairly regularly again from this point onwards. So do watch out or stay tuned in your emails, or if you haven't signed up as a member to our community, I think I would highly recommend you to sign up, because in that way you will get notifications of our upcoming events. Before we kick off, I would like to start with the acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we are meeting here tonight. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and also I extend that respect to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here tonight. My name is Kurt Young, the founder of this GenAI in Fintech meetup, and also your host for this evening. I'm a Fintech product manager. I'm very passionate about lean product management. For those of you guys don't know what that is, happy to have a private chat with you later on. And also, I'm very passionate about GenAI technologies application within the financial services or fintech industry. Hence, why I created this meetup last year. I also run some ad hoc lean product management consulting service to startups, and a bit of a product consulting to individuals who are interested in PM work. For those of you guys interested on that front, please feel free to check out my personal website, kurtyoung.com. Just a couple of quick housekeeping stuff before we officially introducing our lovely guest speaker, Mandeep, here. Number one, please feel free to raise your questions in the chat section within Google Meet, which will be addressing them either during or after the presentation and demo. And also, please make sure you mute yourself while either me or Mandeep, our guest speaker, is presenting. Just minimize the disruption. And lastly, the session, as you saw, is currently being recorded. If you're not okay with it, then this is your cue to leave the session, but I assume all of you guys are okay with it. This is basically for us to later on sharing with the people who couldn't attend, or for further learning purposes. All right. With all of that out of the way, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce you to our lovely guest speaker tonight, who is the founder of Effi Technology, Mandeep Sodhi. Mandeep, would you like to just wave to everyone? I just want to make sure people know who's Mandeep there. Thank you. All right. I had the pleasure to have Mandeep as a guest speaker last year when we first started this meetup. I think, Mandeep, if I remember right, you were probably the second or third guest speaker on the show. I think I still remember you were sharing the amazing insights on how Effi's GenAI-powered SMS scheduler bot transforming the appointment booking experience for mortgage brokers and financial professionals. Tonight, Mandeep is going to share some also quite amazing insights on his team's recent development by using GenAI technology-powered AI voice agent to transform the customer engagement experience in financial service industry, which is also very exciting. Just a little bit more about Mandeep's impressive background. Mandeep was the founder of the famous online marketplace, Hatchchain, connected thousands of home loan borrowers to mortgage brokers, and also successfully exited the business in 2019 after settling nearly we're probably more than $2 billion worth of home loans. That is super impressive. And also, Mandeep has more than 15 years of banking technology experience, from the big fours like Westpac, CBA, AMP, on various strategic projects. And lastly, he was selected as one of the top 100 coolest people in Australia's tech industry by Business Insider back in 2016. Wow. Back then, I don't even know what I was doing, and won tons of awards. The list can go on and on, but given the interest of time, I hope that give our audience to some idea of the credibility of what you're going to share with us tonight. Mandeep, over to you. Yeah.
Thanks, Kurt, and it's amazing to be back again on your show. Really enjoyed all your other podcasts as well, or the events we've had, and learned a lot from them. Thank you for the great introduction, or actually, I must say a very honorary introduction. I'm not used to it, but thanks for that. So, hi everyone. My name is Mandeep Sodhi. I'm the founder and CEO of Effi. Effi is short of efficiency. It's a CRM used or built purposely for finance brokers. When we say finance brokers, it's mortgage brokers, asset finance, commercial loan brokers. They also have a couple of small lenders using the platform as a CRM, and also mortgage managers where you can white label the home loans under their brand. So that's a bit about Effi. I won't bore you with that part, but last year we did a demo on SMS bot. And so before I get into that, I would like to introduce you to Graham as well, who's joined. Graham, if you don't mind just switching on the camera and wave. So Graham is the founder of BrokerMate. So BrokerMate has been working exclusively with Effi, and we've been giving all the scenarios and training to BrokerMate. But the technology build, that's the man right here, Graham, who's building that behind the scenes with us. So any questions, we'll handle it later after the call on my presentation. So I've got a very small presentation. I'll go through it, then we'll get into the exciting part of a live demo. Live demos always make me nervous, but they make me more excited as well. So guys, Google tried it, Microsoft tried it. They had some hiccups as well. So please don't go hard on me, but I'm still going to do that. That's not going to deter me from not doing the demos. And that's where we learn a lot more. So anyway, let me quickly share my screen, and I should be able to share my screen. Yep, I can do that. All right, let me know when you guys can see the screen. Cool, okay. So, like I said, Effi is short of efficiency. It's the smartest lead management platform purposely built for finance brokers and lenders. So our journey to voice AI, which I'm going to demo today. So how did we start with that? So we launched SMS Bot in July 2024. That's when I came on Kurt's event and did a live demo. I think we did a live demo to over 40 users back then, and everyone was responding back and forth. And it was an amazing experience. We could book appointment. The purpose for SMS Bot was to reach out to the customers and have a conversation around how they're feeling about their mortgage, or would they like to speak to a broker after doing an inspection of a property. And it was having a very natural conversation saying, yep, really like the property, and have you got your finance approved? Yes, I have the finance approved. Or no, I would like to speak to a broker. Well, we can connect to a broker, and then find a broker, book in a time. And the next day they will have a conversation with the broker. Now we had to restrict a lot in the SMS bot where, voice is supposed to have a conversation, where people can get exhausted with the too many texts going on. So we had to control that part, saying don't have too many conversations, but keep it to the point. But if people were asking things like, what is the best rate you can get me in the market? We had to train the bot on that, like be compliant as well, and not say certain things that we are not allowed to say in the industry. So the thing with the LLM models is, like, if you get it from overseas or anyone you use in the market, they're not purposely built for Australian market, and that's where we spend a lot more time fine-tuning them, pre-training, post-training. We learn a lot of things, that nuances that are only relevant to Australian market, like what is the first home buyer stamp duty in New South Wales. Now, if you look at the overseas one, they generally tend not to be able to answer that, but we can answer that really well because we've trained on that as well. Then we tried the voice bot back in 2024 with some generic models. Didn't work out really well. Lag was over 2-3 seconds. To be honest, we could easily tell we were talking to a bot and people were just hanging up. Sounded so robotic, could not understand a damn thing. So it's like, okay, well, we should just stick to our SMS bot. Then in March 2025, met Graham, and that's where the conversation happened. He gave us a demo of what he wanted to achieve, and rest was history. We kicked off our beta testing on 14th of April, and we actually just finished it last week. Over close to 1,000 or maybe more than 1,000 calls have been made now so far from the platform. We've been listening to every single call during the beta testing to understand what the nuances were, what were the learnings, which I'm going to share today, and why is it so hard, like just building a voice AI directly, like taking a subscription from US model and not going to work in Australian market when it's like so highly nuanced and we have to understand the industry really well. So let me go to the next screen. So far, what are the results? So since our launch in April in the beta testing to today, we brought down the lag from more than 2 seconds to now under just close to 1 second. So it's 1.1 seconds still. We think we can bring it under 1 second. And there are two models we're trialing with at the moment. So one is where it's super intelligent. It's for compliance built in. It can talk things like, if you go, I'm looking to buy a car, and the bot can say, well, have you thought about weighted lease, which is a very much like an kind of Australian product, or salary sacrifice. It can discuss that with you, and it can have a conversation. Or if you're like looking to buy a property, would you like help with conveyancer? Have you thought about this? Or, yesterday someone said, actually real client said, I'm looking to buy a Mossman. And the client asked, like, how far is it from the public transport? And it could answer those questions really well in real time. Whereas the other bot, which is kind of less smart, we can achieve the lag is like under 0.6 seconds now. Hardly noticeable, but it's less intelligent as well because it doesn't have to kind of research that much in the background. We also noticed that the conversion rate of the enterprises who are trialing it has gone twice than the normal call outreach. But we realized what were the causes for it. When you try to call, let's say, a database of 100 leads or 1,000 leads, the agent is going one by one, whereas voice agent can take 100 calls in one hit, right? And it also does the retries. So let's say the lead comes in from your website, and if you're getting a lot of leads, let's say 100 leads or 50 leads a day, the agent will go one by one. Or if they have multiple appointment booking setters, like 5, they will not be able to call it when the customer filled out the application form. This is where the voice AI agent was really able to go quickly and do all the retries as well. That's why we were able to get twice the conversion than a normal person. We also noticed it's gone more smarter now. It can handle questions, like I said, weighted lease or home loan related questions when the customer says, like, can you explain to me what is offset or what is redraw? So it can get into that conversation as well, but obviously keeping generic advice and not getting into a personalized recommendation, which is what a broker should be doing. So these were the voice AI results. And what did we learn during beta testing? This is what I want to share. Understanding local slang. So obviously Australians have local slang accent as well. And industry processes. So one of the classic example, I'll just share one example is Australians, when we answer a call, it's very common for us to say good day. And the bot was thinking each time it was goodbye. So it's hanging up the call. They said, oh, well, as soon as someone answered, it said goodbye. It wasn't goodbye, it was a good day. So we had to kind of fine tune that to say, actually, it is Australian way of saying hello. So that's just one example. Like we had so many of these examples where we had to fine tune it. And also understanding the nature of the industry, right? So which is the home loan has, mortgage broking has something else, and property will have something else. And AI making up conversations on experience and sales, that's something we're working on very much right now. So, we're training AI to be more truthful. And some of the examples were where, one of the thing we had like just a couple of weeks ago where a customer was trying to set up a date, while having a call saying, look, I'm looking to buy medical. And, agent sounded really nice to him and said, oh, I used to live in Marrickville. And that's something we never trained on. But she was trying to have a conversation, or the agent was trying to having conversation with the client. And they got to chatty, and where they was trying to set up a date and like a cafe in Marrickville. It's good for the conversation and it builds trust, but I don't think we should be doing that. So we're kind of making controls, putting controls on that. Or there was one example where someone wanted to buy like a Volkswagen GTI, and a voice agent AI said, look, I love this car because I used to have this like few years ago and drive myself. And it was pulling in all this information about Volkswagen GTI, like the performance, and both were having an amazing conversation because the guy was like, "Oh, you know about cars, like let's have more conversation around it." Now that's where we're gonna want to control that. Okay, well, you're an AI that it's obvious that you can't drive the car. So what are you talking about? So these are some of the checks we're putting in place now. Some of the learnings, compliance side, um, or AI talking about best rates because they can serve the market and check on comparison side saying this is the best rate available. So we had to train it like it shouldn't talk about the best rates at all or even say the word best rate because it's not allowed in Australian market like as part of the ASIC thing. So these are things like we had to kind of learn, and we mentioned like we're not training them to be a task doer more than an advisor because that's their job is not to be an advisor. They are given it some task that they need to complete, and that's what we want them to focus on. That the goal of the agent is that. Then the last one is that we're currently working on is the instructions or the talking over. So unlike humans, the AI lacks a nuance like to manage where it's turn taking sometimes. So AI agent is saying something and we all are busy and we just go, oh sorry, can we just get to the point, or can you please tell me more about this? So you interrupt the agent, and what happens is the agent keeps talking sometimes because it needs to complete the sentence. So we're kind of training, okay, we need to take a pause, listen to the customer and recalibrate quickly and just get to the next point what they've asked. So these are the things we've learned. Obviously, there's 1,000 other things, but I just wanted to point like the top 4-5 things we've learned in the last 1.5 months. Actually, 2 months we've been testing the loss. Since before that as well, we had a lot of learnings from SMS bot. We actually put it in the voice bot as well. Okay, so range of scenarios we've successfully tried to date is follow up on open inspection by real estate office. I'll do one of the demos today based on that as well. So a real estate agent, they generally do open inspection on Saturday, but they're very lazy to get back to the customer on Monday saying, did you like the property? And we started asking the agents, like, why don't you call your customers back? And they're like, well, they're serious about it. They can call me back. I don't have time. But that's not the approach we want them to take. So now they can use a voice AI to go, hey, you inspected this property in Mossman, whatever area, this address, agent showed it to you. I'm just following up. Would you like contract of sale? And that's kind of driving a lot of conversation and say, yeah, actually, I would like that. Or I'm not sure yet because I want to look at different property. Then validate leads from website inquiry and collect more data. Generally, people, when they get leads from inquiry, this is mortgage brokers or real estate agent, buyer's agent. The first thing they do is they call and just confirm the dates or the information that they put in on the website. But it takes a lot of their time. So they kind of outsource it to offshore team or appointment booking setup. This is something that can be replaced or that can do that same job as well and collect more information like which way you're looking to buy, what is the loan amount, have you got a pre-approval, all these basic questions that can be done, which I'll show it to you today as well. Third one, which is being used a lot by mortgage broker, is RBA announcement. As we can see every month, there's RBA announcements happening, interest rate, on hold or going down. And the brokers are actually using the voice agent to call at maybe 2:32 p.m. because 2:30 p.m. they've already got the campaigns ready, whether the rate went up or down or remain same. And they're just calling the customer saying, hey, just letting you know that Reserve Bank has just announced a couple of minutes ago, this is the new rate or it's on hold. And the customer is just going, wow, this is so amazing. Like, I was waiting to read the news, but anyway, you told me about it, but is there a better deal for me? And it's setting up the appointment based on that. So it's reading the broker's calendar and setting up that appointment. Or the documents follow up or, retention of your existing customers, that's being used a lot. The fourth one, which is one of our customers is not even a finance, from finance brokers or lender. They actually a new app in the market. They use us as a CRM and also they build app on top of Effi. They wanted to get feedback from their 4,000 clients. So they've been running this, campaigns using a voice AI saying, hey, have you downloaded the app? What did you think about it? And they built this script really nicely on our platform without customer realizing they're talking about as well. And they're giving all this feedback. They can collect hundreds of feedback in just one hit. That is the beauty of it. Now, they can also call themselves, but imagine calling 4,000 clients to do that. When are you going to have time to build your own product then if you want to call these many? Obviously, they're putting all this feedback and transcript in one hit, like in just in the software and saying generate, like what's the positive, what is the negative, what should we focus on as a product feature. That's really smart, guys. Then the last one is the re-engaging cold leads. We also did one for a comparison website where they wanted the bot to compare products for the customer in the insurance space and loans, and worked really like a charm. So these were some of the scenarios we tested. Features we are focusing on this quarter after all the feedback we got is the ability to reply and call the number back. So we have released a feature already, which is you can purchase a dedicated number. But what's happened sometimes is the people don't answer the call and they return the call. It needs to go to the person whose number they purchase, or the agent or the broker, and they can answer the call on their behalf, because voice AI will go, well, I've actually called you and I'm a voice AI. But that's not what they want. They actually want the number to be routed back to their phone number. So that can be done now. Making more than 100 calls concurrently. So we can do that now, but we're also focusing on other things for bigger enterprises where they want to call 1,000 clients in one hit. So you can scale the business through our platform as well. Automation, that's something we're working on now. And there's so many requests for automation examples we've got. Like if I come from website, automatically do this. If I add a label, do this. Or if I move to a particular stage, call it. This can all happen now through our Effi platform as well. And the voice AI can do those things. Then finally, the another one which we're getting a lot of requests on is, hey, I've got my business, but I don't want you to share my IP with anyone else. Anything I train needs to remain within my business. Obviously, we do that today. And we are launching a program for that as well, where we can train on your specific business and type of loans or insurance products or whatever you do in your business. And the lead will ask the question about your business and the scripts you have. We can train it very quickly, and the data doesn't get shared across. All right, so exciting time. So the boring part is over. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So demo time. So I'm going to I'll do a couple of demos now. So first one, Kurt, you've already shared the names with me. So I'm just going to check the list I've got here. So DK,
I think DK is on the call. Yeah.
Okay. Abdullah, I'll answer that question shortly. I'm just going to get into the demo, and then we can have the FAQ, if that's okay. DK, are you in a quiet room, and are you okay to take the call? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So DK, I'm just going to share my screen. I'll show to the guys what we've got. And when I call you, you can go on mute. You don't need to be on speakerphone, because I can play the whole call from my platform for everyone to listen. You just have your own conversation, but just put yourself on mute. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Do you still have my number?
I'll probably get you to put the number here. Just
okay. I'll type it into the group chat.
Thank you. Yes, please.
By the way, you look the same as you did 10 years ago when we first
Thanks, DK. I just was going to say it's good to see you after 10 years. Okay. So, guys, what you're seeing right now is the broker mate. It's separate to Effi product. Now, I'll just quickly take you through what it does. And while we're doing that, we can also answer any other question as well. So, in the manage account, obviously, you have settings page where you can define how many retries you want. So you can do up to 5 retries. So if a customer doesn't answer, it detects it. So it will call on different times, but you can tell the system. So you can even call on weekends on the retries, and same time as original call 5 times, or random times. And you can say, look, I just want between these calls time, because the customer may not have answered. So that's one part. Pricing wise, someone asked that question, so I'll just answer that now. So it's 50 cents per minute. If it goes into voice message, it's 25 cents. And you can also purchase a number through us, which is on the pricing page, which is $25 a month. That's all the cost. We don't have any setup fee or any of that. If you want us to train on your business, then there's an initial setup fee, but it only takes a couple of days, depending on your business. So that's that part. Now, this is the part where you define the agents. So I've already created some agents, like one is a refinance agent. So you have to define for like what each agent is supposed to do. One is an appointment booker. One is supposed to call all the inquiries that are coming from your website. One is your real estate agent who just wants to follow up. How was the last, open inspection. So you can keep going on those things like car finance. And then you have profiles. So what type of people are you calling? So if I go, I'm calling first home buyers, and I want to make sure that full name is captured, email is captured, deposit amount is captured. And these are all the fields that are linked to FE system. So as the agent is asking all these questions, like, can you please confirm your annual salary? It's actually filling out the form in FE. So that's the beauty of that, where you can actually do a short fact find or application form with the customer on the call, and the voice AI agent is doing that. Same for refinancing. You can select what is your current interest rate, and you can ask those questions, and it will pre-fill your FE system. Then you have integrations. Now, obviously, it's connected to FE, but you can also have connection to domain in real time. So you can get the price confidence and estimate. And we have integration with Perplexity. Using Perplexity, we can find more information. So if someone goes, I want to find out how far is this from this cafe, one cafes, or schools near my property, it can actually find that information very quickly as well. Last one is where you make the calls. Obviously, this is connected to our FE CRM. So all the calls get recorded in our CRM, but I'll show you where if you can also listen to the calls here as well. So if I look at the last call, I can listen to see the history. I'll look at this one, so I can just go. Whereas the transcript is there, call recording is there. You can listen to it anytime, and there's summary notes as well. What happened, and that all gets emailed if you don't use FE system. But if you use FE system, it automatically attaches to the lead. And we're working on another feature that it will create tasks within our system and even send emails out to the customers after that. Yeah. So that's where we are. So I'm just going to use first one for DK. So I'm going to, DK, what do you feel like? Maybe let's go with the real estate agent. Let me be Janet today, not Mandeep. I don't know if you can listen to the call.
Hi, my name is Janet. Want to be mates?
Yeah, okay. So you can select up to, I think we've got close to 20 voices now. There are different accents. You can even have a different accent, like.
Hi, my name is Chen. Wanna be mates?
Or if you want like an Australian one, we've got Janet, Angela, and I'll play with that shortly. Yeah, so I'm just going to pick Janet. And I said, Janet is calling from a company called Property Group. The first message you can change. And it can be to your liking. And after that, you can just give a goal. So the goal is, I'm just going to check from Jen's point of view, I'm going to check if the open inspection of this property address that I'm going to add in the campaign went well. And if the borrower would like a copy of the contract of sale, ask if there's any other property they're looking at. Are they looking for investment or to live in? Ask what their budget is for property purchase. Check if they have any existing property for sale. And if they would like the property group agent to discuss that. Set up an appointment with the property agent, confirm their email address for the appointment, and email the contract of sale. Ask if the current mobile number is the best number to reach on. All right. Are we good with that goal? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's put you on a shopping spree for properties. All right. So then you go into outbound. I'm going to create a new call. I'm just going to select that agent upgraded, which is real estate agent, and it pre-filled all my information. I can schedule it later if I don't want to do it now. I can select daily retry calls. I'm just going to ignore that. Or I can also upload an Excel if it's not connected to FE, and I can upload my 100 database, or you can use the templates. All right. So I'm just going to use the information in the chat. So, just move the spaces. I'm just going to call it DK. Let's see, you looked at 46 Old Avenue, Watchman. Now you will have a list of all these property addresses from the agent, and I'm just going to put dk@gmail.com for now. All right, DK, just clarifying again, you're on mute. Take your call on the phone, like you don't need to be on speakerphone because you're just talking, and I will play the call for everyone from here, right? All right, let's go. There we go. Okay. Process call. You're going to get a call from a mobile number.
I'm good.
Great to hear. Just to let you know, we're on a recorded line and I might take some notes as we chat for any next steps. I'm calling about the open house you visited at 46 Holt Avenue in Mossman on Saturday. Did you get a good look at the property?
Oh, yes, I did. Thanks.
Wonderful. How did you find it? Did the property meet your expectations?
Yeah, it was nice enough. It was one of several I visited that day.
Ah, I see. Sounds like you're actively looking around. Would you like me to send you a copy of the contract of sale for the Mossman property?
I don't know if I'm ready for that yet, but if you can just email to me, that's fine.
No problem at all. I can email that to you. Just to confirm, I have your email as dk@gmail.com. Is that correct?
That's correct. Could I ask
Great.
you something about it,
Absolutely. Go
the
ahead.
property?
Yes, what would you like to know about the property?
How old is the property itself? I don't think I remember.
Ah, for that specific detail about the property's age, I'll need to check with Mandeep who showed you the property. I don't have that information.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
No problem at all.
But before I lose you, does it have a pool? I didn't look at the back. Sorry, I was a bit busy.
Oh, I'm not sure if it has a pool. I don't have all the property details on hand. I'll make sure to note that question for Mandeep to answer when he follows up with you.
Okay, thanks.
You mentioned you saw several properties that day. Are there any other types of properties you're particularly interested in?
Oh no, just looking for somewhere to put myself and my family.
Ah, so you're looking for a family home. That's great. May I ask what your budget range is for your new home?
Mossman, should start at 3 million to 5 million.
Ah, $3 to $5 million in Mossman.
Or maybe you can help me with what would be available in the mortgage market for what kind of capital, what kind of loan I can get.
That's a great question. Mandeep, our broker, would be the best person to discuss your loan options in detail. Would you like me to arrange an appointment for you to chat with him about potential mortgage options?
Sure, I'll be busy until maybe Thursday. Can it be after that?
Thursday onwards works perfectly. Let me check Mandeep's availability for you. Do you have a preference between Friday or early next week?
Probably Friday, but early next week is also fine. Friday morning is good.
Just give me a sec while I check if they're available. So sorry our system is a bit slow today. Just give me a few more moments. I've checked and unfortunately Mandeep doesn't have availability this Friday, but he does have several options next Tuesday, May 20th. Would any of these times work for you? 9 a.m, 10:15 a.m, 1:15 p.m, or 3:30 p.m?
10:15 is good.
Perfect. I'll book you in for Tuesday, May 20th at 10:15 a.m. with Mandeep. He'll be able to discuss all your mortgage options for properties in that $3 to $5 million range in Mossman. Just to confirm, is your current mobile number the best one for Mandeep to reach you on?
It is. And can you send me a meeting request by email?
Absolutely. I'll send a meeting request to your email at dk@gmail.com along with the contract of sale for the Holt Avenue property. Is there anything else you'd like me to help you with today?
That's all. Great. Thanks.
You're welcome. I'll make sure everything gets sent over to you. Mandeep is looking forward to speaking with you next Tuesday at 10:15 a.m. Have a wonderful rest of your day, DK.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye now.
That was good.
Wanted to throw not real curveball, but some different stuff, and handle them very well. Will the AI actually set up the email and send it, or will it instruct AI, amino intelligence, a human, to send it, or will it just do it itself?
No, so it will send you. I mean, I didn't give the right email address. So if I give the right email address, it can actually set up an appointment and send you calendar invite, and that should come straight away. And so that's why the agent was checking my calendar in real time and said Friday nothing's available.
I guess it was. Yeah, I should have noted that. If it was checking your calendar, it had access. That was great. I have a few questions about the technology, but after you get through the rest of your presentation or whatever.
Sure. So let's pick another one for another demo. Kurt, do you know who's the other one?
Yeah, I think let me just have a quick look at people in the chat. I think.
Otherwise, we can jump into questions.
Can you do? Is it trained ready for an agitated customer, someone who's a bit upset about the situation? Can I handle that, or is it still need to be trained on that?
Why don't we try now?
Yeah. For that, maybe Ali. Is that okay if I put you on the spot? So just for you guys to know, Ali is a friend and also ex-colleague of mine, and he put his hands up as a backup just in case if we haven't got the second person. So Ali, if you're listening, are you happy? Thank you. So you're gonna play the agitated customer just to give you a bit.
By the way, I wasn't a plant. I wasn't a plant. I didn't know that was coming.
That's a very real life scenario. So 50% of calls we've had like with agitated customers. So it's very common when you're calling them. So why don't we do with the inbound website inquiry? They made an inquiry about the finance. So the goal is to check in with the customer who's left a return contact. They're interested in a loan for a new purchase. Have a lively conversation and find out the customer details. Now, Ali, to cater to DK's requirement, you can say, look, no one has called me. I'm really upset about it, whatever. Or DK, if you want to give more context around that, happy for you to kind of drive that. And
I sent a payment. How come you marking me as late or in default? I sent the payment last week.
Okay. All right. So you can just say, look, I'm still waiting for a call from the broker. Really not.
Yeah, no worries.
Yep. All right.
Easy.
Okay, cool. I'm just going to find your number from the chat. Just give me 1 second.
I think I sent it to you on LinkedIn. Did I?
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, if you can. Otherwise, I mean, if it's difficult, maybe I can retype it here, but just let me know. Yeah, whatever's easier.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Ali.
Yeah, let me just put in the chat. Give me a sec. Wait, hold on. What's going on? Hey, maybe Ali, do you want to put your number just in the chat?
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ali.
No worries.
Sorry, same thing. If you can, please go on mute and just take the call normal and speakerphone mute as well. So I'm just going to go gmail.com. All right, let's start the call.
Hello.
Hi Ali, this is Angela calling from Effi Finance. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing good. What is this call about?
Great to hear you're doing well. We're on a recorded line and I might take some notes as we chat for any next steps. I'm calling because you recently made an inquiry about a home loan on our website. I wanted to check in and see if you're still interested in exploring your options.
When was that though? That was like 2 weeks ago. Why are you calling me now?
Oh, I'm sorry about the delay. We've had quite a busy period recently. Better late than never though, right? I'm just following up to see if you're still interested in learning about home loan options.
Well, I've already spoken to other brokers, so you have to be very convincing. Like, you're just calling me 2 weeks after I put in my inquiry. I don't even remember what I was inquiring at the time. So you have to be very convincing.
I completely understand your frustration. That delay is on us, and I apologise. You're right to expect better response times. Can I ask what type of property you were looking at when you made your inquiry? Maybe we can start there and see if we can still help.
Yeah, I was looking at this property in Mossman, a 5-bedroom property.
Mossman, lovely area. A 5-bedroom property there sounds impressive. Are you looking at this as your family home or as an investment property?
As an investment property.
An investment property. That's a smart move in Mossman. Have you been investing?
Mm-hmm. Well, what can you do for me? Like, you're asking me too many questions. What can you actually offer me?
You're right. Let me get to the point. At Effi Finance, we help investors find competitive loan options specific to investment properties. Our brokers have access to dozens of lenders and can negotiate rates on your behalf. Would you be interested in a quick appointment with one of our brokers to discuss specific options for your Mossman investment?
Yeah, we can do that.
Great. When would be a good day for you to chat with one of our brokers? They can walk you through investment loan options specifically for that Mossman property.
Well, it'll have to be towards the end of next week.
End of next week works well. Would Thursday or Friday be better for you?
Thursday.
Thursday sounds good. And what time of day would suit you best? Morning, afternoon, or evening?
Afternoon.
Afternoon on Thursday next week. Just give me a sec while I check if they're available. I've checked our broker schedule for next Thursday. They have 2 available slots, 2:15 to 2:45 p.m. or 3:30 to 4 p.m. Which time works better for you?
Yeah, I can do the 3:30.
Perfect. I'll book you in for Thursday, the 22nd of May at 3:30 p.m. And I have your email as ali@gmail.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. I've scheduled your appointment for Thursday, May 22nd at 3:30 p.m. with one of our investment property specialists. You'll receive a confirmation email with all the details shortly. Is there anything specific about the Mossman property investment you'd like the broker to prepare for?
That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ali. Looking forward to having our broker help you with that Mossman investment property next Thursday. If you need anything before then, feel free to reach out. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
It's a very disgruntled customer, but a
It
rich
was
one.
very good. Yeah. It was good.
Awesome. So thanks for that. We'll start taking some questions now. Let me go through.
Yeah, I think there are some questions from Kaylee. I don't know whether it's easy if Kaylee, if you just unmute yourself, maybe ask away. I think you got quite a few different questions.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. So,
No worries.
I'm also a former colleague of Kurt's, but and I am managing a AI product, but it's super simple. Like, it's not a fit for purpose model, and I've been navigating like a lot of challenges with that, and of course, I'm trying to correct some of the execution that's already been done. Is sort of where I'm at right now. And so getting some advice from people who have done more advanced, I guess, like AI work would be super helpful. But one of them is, so we have a super simple model, and we know we need to like evaluate like a Gen AI model versus perhaps maybe one of the banking specific AI models. I was just curious, how did you evaluate your model and decide on it? Because obviously in my case, it's going to require an investment, a significant investment from the business. So like, how do you navigate that? How did you decide, what were you looking for? What kind of questions were you asking? That would be my first. question.
Sure. I'll let Graham answer on the model side. Graham, do you want to go first, and then I'll talk about.
Yeah, sure. So this is, I think, the key question when working with AI, because we're so used to building products where deterministic products, we're so used to building, a drop down that calls an API, it's deterministic, we know it's going to work. When it comes to AI products, there's this whole stochastic reality. Will the model work? Will it suit your use case? So it really requires, I think, like it's almost a data science mindset. And so when you're working with, your team needs to be really cross-functional. You need to have data scientists within the team, and they need to really have a strong set of evals with which to experiment. So you should always start with sources of truth, that this is this is a gold standard of how I want something to answer, whether that's just voice AI, whether it's text-based AI. And then from that, you can then, run experiments to test the various models. Because if you're not working with that, gold standard, you find yourself in a continuous, a series of whack-a-mole where you're tweaking something else breaks. So it's really important to come with it, with that mindset. And then I would just say, we're in in an amazing place now that the model providers are expansive. You've got open source, you've got proprietary models. They are all offering something different. Something like the voice AI agent that you just heard is not using one model, but several models, all for different use cases. Some is just, flagging whether it's sentiment, flagging whether it's voicemail. They need to be really quick. We need models with good caching to kind of get those initial first interactions speedy. But then you also need models that can handle, as Mandeep was saying, more sophisticated concepts. So you can't really, I don't think, build a product with a single model anymore. You need to evaluate them for the different use cases. Sorry if that's
No, that's very good advice. Part of the reason I joined this because I don't know what I'm doing yet in this sort of space, and so navigating some of these things, it's just really helpful. Actually, the other thing I was going to ask is around, do your customers share the same training model? Have you implemented that it's across all customers? Because in my use case, right, it's been applied to all customers at the same time, but then that impacts each customer's performance, maybe not to their specific, needs. So I was curious, have you applied all of the training data to the same customers, or is it segmented per customer?
Sure. I can continue here, Mandeep, but So there's the layers of training sort of vary. We, I don't know if you guys, there's a lot you can do with, retrieval augmented generation, RAG, right? When you're just talking about just context specific. Basically, this is just stuffing the context of the, LLM with your, unique context. But where we are, trialing on our bigger sort of enterprise clients are these, fine-tuned models, on-call transcripts on specific use cases. Because the way I like to explain what fine-tuning does, it basically allows a whole lot more context than you could really fit into a context window. So you're embedded, you are slightly, you're applying slight variations to the weights, which then allows a whole lot more efficiency to the training process. So that's what we're doing with our enterprise customers, because it then requires a their unique own proprietary model, and then the time spent training. So that's why we have to charge a little bit extra.
Okay.
Yeah, and just adding to that, like you will notice that the profiles we created first on Wire is kind of we've already trained on those sort of segments, and because it's connected to Effi, every time they create an account, we have a profile page of the business, so that gets synced automatically and says Mandeep is a broker, by the way, he's got 10 years of experience, because every broker creates an about you profile and creates a lot of data. And that's the base for us to start with immediately and go, we've actually primed that bot already with that sort of. So that really helps when you have an existing customer base as well. And we've been lucky where enterprise customers put their hand up, saying, like, we'll make the calls, like there are more than 110 calls made a day, right? So we were listening to all these calls, and Graham will go, I'm just making, a change that will make it faster. And we're like, 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, damn it, just roll back, man. Like this just didn't work. And why is the model not understanding this accent? And like, oh, I thought it would be fast. Like, so you have to test so many things, and things can go wrong. But luckily we had like patient, clients who were just willing to test it and give us feedback. But so many times the customer said, are you AI? Because it's like, it sounded robotic, and we're like, we need to get rid of this voice quickly. We can't deploy it. But these were the learnings we had.
Just on that, actually, because sort of another challenge is, I don't know how you did your go-to-market strategy to get and to work with your customers, because that's another constraint that I'm facing right now, is that our MSAs don't have the right agreements for access to certain things. So is that how you navigated that up front? You got that buy-in from them up front, and you sort of spelled it out in your MSA agreements?
Yeah, so because they are existing enterprise customers, we said, look, this is beta testing. We're not going to charge you anything, but in return, this is what it can go wrong. And we already had this contract in place where they understood, okay, these are the implications of that. So some enterprises didn't want to participate. Some put their hand up. But they were really crucial for us to kind of train the model quickly. And okay, well, in return, we'll give you a discount going forward.
Okay. Because, that's something that wasn't done up front. So, retrospectively, that's a real challenge to navigate and trying to improve the accuracy without the right data or the right buy-in. So, another thing. And just from what I've read online, obviously the human feedback loop is imperative. And just curious, from your experience, how much capacity do you dedicate to that?
A lot. Graham is full-time on this with his resources. With he's listening to all calls. And I mean, I don't know how he does it, but even I'm listening to some calls where I can as a product manager. And we've got a Slack group with the users. They're saying, hey, tell us what went wrong. They actually report it very quickly. And they also give us recommendations. This is how we should have handled. So it trains the model very quickly. That's what we're doing. But we're doing it manually at the moment. It'll get into self-learning model later.
Yes, yeah. That's what I was going to say. We are building out, the flywheel, so that it can self train and self rectify some of these. Basically, it's similar to another LLM as an evaluator. So you can use the LLM themselves to help determine calls and help with this process. Still doesn't, we're still very much in the early stages. So I am listening to every call, but the scale we're talking about, this won't be possible soon. So yeah, we need to automate.
That is also one of my questions. And then sort of lastly, with the explainable AI and lending, how are you navigating that, that evolving, space? And is it only required for when you're using it for decision making right now? Because I know your product, it's not doing any of the decision making. But yeah, is that the only, like, it's only required for decision making? And then like, do you have any sort of other regulatory like guidelines that you're having to follow in terms of using Gen AI?
So with that, right now, I mean, we're looking at the guidelines of AI as well, like what we need to do, and the best feedback is coming from our customers who have the credit license on the line and saying, "Hey, I'm not allowed to say this, and I've already trained my offshore staff not to do this. Here's all the data, and here's all the script. Stick to that." I'm like, "Great, this is really good because I don't have to go read all these assets and document because we've already given that." So the benefit we have is like we have a big customer base already, right? And the customers who trust our product. There's already like agentic AI working within the FE, and we're saying this voice AI can work with that agentic AI because that's part of the FE like ecosystem, and that's an enterprise license that we're not training outside of that as well. So that's where we leave it to the customer as well, like how much do you want this AI to go forward, and what do you want it to achieve? Like the common use cases are coming from them saying, look, website inquiries, I can't handle it. Get this voice AI to do it. Document follow-ups, I don't want to do this, do that. But also restricting like what that voice AI can access in our CRM. And that's where like if you got like, there was one someone ran last week, which was about document follow-ups, and the customer said, well, what documents are you chasing now? They said, I don't know about that, but I can send you an email, because we have not allowed that to kind of. So there's certain decision making we can give to voice AI, and certain we go, actually, we don't want to talk about that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I took up a lot of questions, but I appreciate it.
That's really good questions, Kaylee. I think we also got maybe one or two more questions from DK, and then we'll see if we can wrap it up. Yeah. So DK, do you want to ask your questions or?
Yeah. So I'll be using Perplexity as a wrapper to assign tasks. So right now we're not using Perplexity to assign any task at the moment. That's handled by Effi. So we've got our own AI in Effi. But what it's doing is passing all those tasks summary. Then the AI we've got in Effi will pick the task and assign tasks. Perplexity is being used for the knowledge. So if you go later on, like one person I'm using example said, like, how far is this from the public transport? So Perplexity is helping with those answers, saying, hey, it's this far from this address. Best is to take a bus from this. Okay, well, how far are the schools from here? So that information is coming in real time. That's what we're using Perplexity for. Yeah, I mean, Graham, if I missed anything, please add.
You're using it as a RAG search engine. What underlying model did you fork? You're using one online, or did you just fork your own model? Are you running it in house, or because it gets really expensive once you start using cloud models?
So there's a variety of models. For some, IP reasons, I won't name them all, but not all are paid models. Some are open source. As I said, it's a variation. That there's multiple models that need to be used, and that's just for the text-based models. There's also, speech to text, text to speech models that are deployed and utilized. I'll just say this, that, we have iterated numerous times on this. And, to Mandeep's point, this has been rebuilt and rebuilt like multiple times. Initially, we tested the real-time models. Google and OpenAI, they have those. Those were a bit of a disaster because we are, we're working with, phone lines, which has got a natural noise element. Those models have been distilled to make them really fast. So even though they're really quick and the latency is really good, they don't work at all. So there's been a lot of trials and errors in this process, and I would say to folks who are building with AI, that is the way. It's the learn by doing. There is no experts in this field. The field has been established long enough. It's don't feel afraid of building and failing, because that's the only way to make progress while everything is evolving so quickly.
Perfect. I also got a question for probably to Mandy. I remember, I think I did this sort of a similar demo experience call with you. I think it was maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, right? At the time, I still felt like there was a bit of a lag, just given my experience. But I think from my observation with DK's call and Ali's call, I think I saw significant improvements from the time, So I'm just curious, between, a week and a half ago and now, like, was that because you guys actually made really significant improvements on the lagging side of the capability, or you have put in some sort of I'm just trying to really understand what has improved between then and now.
Yeah, so we've worked a lot on those lagging, because obviously the customers are not going to pay us until the lag is like, that was our top priority. And we tried with so many models, so many different iterations, like some went as a disaster. And, if you look at if I ever share like Graham and my message exchange, it's always like, sorry, man, sorry, mate, sorry, like, and let's roll back. But it is a learning, and, we screwed it up so many times. But there was this, every day we've been reiterating, launching, deploying 3-4 times a day. Like, did that work? And like I said, the benefit we have is we have real customers testing. So we can quickly get feedback, oh, that went wrong. And we can roll back quickly. And, customers are just going, oh, hang on, this is what happened. And we're listening to those calls saying, shit, that we got to roll back. And we finally got to a place where latency is come down a lot. It's 1 second. As you can see today, it's so fast. And I used the super intelligent model because I wanted to impress this group. That was one part. But the other part is just tweaking things like, how can we make it faster and responsive? Like, even why does it take this long to say for it to, yeah, this is why I'm calling you for. Like, how can we there are so many scenarios we worked on. It's like, that can be faster, that can be faster. And you only do that once you listen to real calls.
For sure. That's amazing. I think, am I double checking the questions? I think I have we have addressed all the questions. Any last questions?
I did have a question on the end user, actually, just around, do they know that they are chatting to a bot? And like, have you had any sort of negative feedback of like, they distrust it, or they don't like interacting with the AI bot?
Yeah, so we while we were doing all these iterations, we actually released some of the voice agents, like the sounding ones that obviously our mistake ago, and we were testing that, and they got picked up really easily by the customer. So to your earlier question, do they know they're talking to bot? We leave that to the customer, right? And in most cases, pretty much all cases, the customer said, I don't want to disclose this as a bot, because if I disclose it, I'm not going to get the answer I want. And we leave that decision to them. At the end of the day, we are a tech provider. What we do try to build is the truthability, which is, if the customer asks that, are you an AI? We want to be able to say, yes, I'm an AI. And that's where we kind of holding a stake in the ground and say, look, to our customer saying, we will disclose that it's an AI if they ask for an AI.
And there's no regulatory requirements, right, in terms of from that disclosure perspective currently. Are you aware of any
disclosure required at this point? I think there are guidelines, but they're not like strict guidelines at the moment. But yeah, but we want to be doing the right thing by our customers. And the one we looked at from the international models, or the one we use off the shelf, none of them are disclosing, and they're just going way beyond. Like, I would not use them in the finance industry at all, for sure.
Amazing. All right, I think because we definitely gone over, and I just really want to say thank you guys for all the questions, all the engagements. Ali, your improv in terms of your acting is second to none. Really appreciate it. And also Mandeep, thank you again. I have to say, from the first time we met in our previous, I think it's almost a year, I think slightly less than a year ago, right? Seeing the amount of progress that your organization and yourself has made on that, the sort of a Gen AI product innovation front it's super, super impressive and also very encouraging. I think a lot of us, Ali, Kaylee, myself, and I'm hoping a lot of people here as well, we all work in that kind of a similar, fintech or financial services industry. I think you are definitely setting a great example, big inspiration for all of us. And I'm sure I'm going to have you back to this show again at a certain point. Might not be even wait until your next big thing, could be whatever the next big feature within your GenAI voice bot coming up. Just keep me posted. I anytime I would love to have you on the show again. So really appreciate it for everything. Thank you.
That's so kind of you, man. Yeah, would love to be back on the show with hopefully something else on the AI as well. Yeah, we're working on a few things behind the scenes that are really exciting.
Exciting. And also lastly, if anything people want to reach out to you or any support you guys need, do you want to just plug in a little bit of your side stuff as well?
Yes, I'll paste it in the chat here as well. That's my email address. If anyone wants to reach out, it's mandeep@effi.com.au, or you can call me on 0401380864. I'll put that number as well if needed. Yeah, would love to get in touch with all of you, and yeah, let's build a community together, work together.
Amazing. Oh, well, have a good night, everyone. I think the next one, I haven't really put out the announcement yet. Next one is also quite exciting. I haven't confirmed with the person. Maybe, Mandeep, this is Ben from Kregel. So there's actually, I recently met Ben, and he's very excited to be on the show as well. So if everything works well with his family timing-wise, it'll be in the Tuesday night in 2 weeks' time. So keep you guys posted. That's also a very exciting one, also within the sort of a broking industry use case, but it's more like the front end sort of experience as well. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, Ben is a customer. So.
Yeah, I know. Great, guys. Thank you. Have a good night, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Yeah.